Hi, welcome to another episode of Hot Takes. Bridget Phillipson has confirmed the government are going to go ahead with a ban on conversion therapy. That is to say, they're going to make it illegal for anyone to try and tell someone that they're not actually trans, that they are in fact just mentally ill perhaps, or it's just a phase. So if you're a parent and your little boy goes, "Mummy, I'd like to be a girl," you can't say, "Oh, don't be silly, dear, you're just going through a little phase." That would be a crime under this government. Even though it's impossible for anyone, of course, to change sex. Totally impossible. And it is an actual medical, mental issue. But they want to go ahead with it. The trouble is, they've taken so long, as indeed did the Tories before them. The reason is, it's very, very difficult. Where do you draw the line on what conversion is? Where do you draw the line on what encouragement is? Where do you draw the line where you say parents cannot parent their own children? And they're claiming they want it to be trans inclusive. Why? And so therefore, this thing has been sniffling around for years. They just can't work out how to do it in such a way that they don't look like complete idiots or that it's a pointless exercise. Of course, it's far too late for both of those things because one, they do look like pointless idiots, and two, it is a pointless exercise. I meant total idiots, but yeah, it's a pointless exercise as well. She was rounding off at the conference, one of those sort of post-conference gatherings that they have. They're all going to go home today. In fact, by the time you be watching this, they'll all have finished and gone. Some will have gone last night. Some hang around for the post-mortems. But, you know, she was saying, "Oh, no, we're dead set on doing this, dead set on doing this. How far have you achieved anything?" We haven't achieved anything. It's too hard. It's absolutely too hard. They would say, "We want to bring in legislation, but not until we explore all the possibilities and all the unforeseen circumstances." Here's the thing. If you start saying you can't convert, you ban on conversion, what you're effectively saying is the moment anyone says they want to be trans, you're teeing them up for a lifetime of misery. Off with the ghoulies, let's give you a vagina. And then when it all goes wrong and you realise you're not actually trans, and you're thinking, "Why didn't someone talk to me first?" It's far too late then. They're not allowed to talk to you. They're not allowed to tell you, actually, that's not the case. How would it affect psychiatrists? I'd like to be like, "Well, you have to go and see a psychiatrist." And then the psychiatrist starts talking to you, and the psychiatrist realises you're not trans, you just have other issues. As indeed 97.5% of all trans people do. And that figure is not me making it up. That is the official figure from the reports. What went through, these clinics that were just so degrading. But it was found that 97.5% of all children who went through there, for example, weren't trans, and yet they were put onto the treatment regimes. Many were sterilised for life, for nothing, for no reason whatsoever. That's why, these controls need to be in place, which is why it's so hard to bring this law in. But imagine a law was in place and someone went there and then they said, "Well, actually, this person's not trans, but I can't tell them that because that could be deemed as conversion." And so what we'll do is we'll just destroy their lives and sterilise these children just to maintain that we're this side of the law. When you are doing mass sterilisation of children, that to me sounds like a crime against humanity. And that, I think, is what the Labour Party is pushing. It's very, very weird. The Tories struggled with it, eventually giving up. They said the unintended consequences were horrific. And they said a total ban on gender identity care could put teachers and GPs in an awkward position. Like they said when a 7-year-old says, "I'm a lady now." So Bridget Jones reckons she can come up with some solution to this, some way of squaring the circle. But to be honest, I don't think Bridget Phillipson can. I really did say Bridget Jones, didn't I? Good Lord. But I don't think Bridget Phillipson can because ultimately she's dumb as an ox. There's no way she's going to come up with anything. How do you convince a 7-year-old that actually no, just because he likes playing with a dolly, he isn't trans? And what about parents who are pushing a child into trans because they'd rather have a trans child than a gay child? Where does that come in? What are the controls on that? It's very, very difficult. But it is, of course, by difficult decisions that politicians are judged. The only trouble is with Bridget Phillipson, we're already judging her because she's stupid. Thanks very much. Bye.